Hello there everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in again for another weekly update on news and information about DCS World. I'm your host, of course, Prickly Hedgehog, and as always, I do hope this video finds you well wherever you're tuning in from today. And what a day it has been. Eagle Dynamics throwing out, news that everybody has been waiting for. The Apache, the AH-64D, of course, is now available for pre-order in the eShop. And this is huge news from Eagle Dynamics. This is a product that has been showcased very carefully, but also very deliberately in terms of what they have been working on. You know, the showcasing of this aircraft's development has been quite slick. And I said to them on their main channel, I'd love to sit down with Wags and whoever and talk about the development process of this particular aircraft, because I think it's been handled particularly well, especially given in mind that they mentioned that they have considered VR a little bit more with this particular module. And I think that wasn't because that they weren't interested in VR, but I think it's a technology now that's coming along a little bit and more players are using it. And I think it's a technology that lends itself quite well to this particular helicopter, given that the pilots use a monocle, which is kind of video game-like in a weird way, where you've got data being beamed into your right eye at all times to assist you with situational awareness, which is a very neat concept, and it marries quite nicely with the technology that is evolving before us. So that is a neat thing. So again, it's something I'd love to sit down with them to just talk about the process that they have done. Remember that about 12 months ago or so, we were speculating that there was going to be this, surprise aircraft, and there were sort of these snippets about the helicopter. We saw something being revealed in Syria with the Hind, and all these little details were coming out, and we kind of got this beautiful revelation at the end of the video, kind of summing up what was going to be the 2021 roadmap, which of course featured what we were hoping for, which was the Apache. And here we are almost 12 months later from that video, with an aircraft in pre-purchase with a view for a Q4 release. That's pretty slick. I think they've done a very, very good job of managing this particular module. Of course, the proof will be in the pudding. We know that we won't really be satisfied until we're sitting in the chopper and are able to give it a fuller assessment. But what we have seen is pretty impressive. So let's turn to the newsletter now and discuss what Eagle Dynamics has for us in this early access bird. Well, a little bit of a caveat here and a little bit of a background to the history of the aircraft. Of course, we know that it's served essentially as the backbone of the US Army attack helicopter force for decades. It's been a dominant force on today's battlefield. It's based on the AH-64A. The Delta, of course, is a tandem crewed helicopter with the pilot in the backseat and the co-pilot/gunner in the front. It is armed with a 30mm chain gun under the nose and Hellfire missiles, as well as 2.75-inch rockets on the stub wings. It has proved itself in places like Iraq, of course, and Afghanistan, and against a wide variety or array of threats. Now, later in development for the Eagle Dynamics version, it will also be equipped with the Fire Control Radar, or FCR, and that will enable it to detect, classify, track, and also engage both air and surface targets with radar-guided Hellfire missiles. So we've got more to come, of course, being early access. There will be bugs, there will be some things to iron out, and there will be development on the aircraft. No surprise there, that's pretty normal. But as you saw, and as people have discussed and assessed, including some of our subject matter experts out there, the work that has been done and what has been showcased looks pretty good. Now, the early access features are as follows. We're going to have, of course, a professional flight dynamics and engine modeling with high precision characteristics of the real aircraft in all ranges of altitude, temperature, and speeds for different weights and flight configurations. Very, very cool. There will be two 6 degrees of flight, highly detailed cockpits and an external model. Fully clickable cockpits with mouse interactive control. And we also have the multi-crew capability. A second crew member can be another player, or it will be the George AI. I don't know why they call him George, but Curious George. Anyway, detailed modeling of the entire electrical, fuel, hydraulic, pneumatic, fire protection, SCAS, hold modes, and radio systems. Very cool. Full modeling of armament and weapon systems with the ability to use the 30mm chain gun, 2.75-inch rockets, and the AGM-114K Hellfire anti-tank guided missiles in direct, low, and high modes. External fuel tanks. We have the IHADS, the MPNVS, and MTADS, TDAC systems and sensors, quite the mouthful there, linear motion compensator, or LMC, and of course we have a tactical situation display with moving map, also known as a TSD. Defensive systems that include the common missile warning system, chaff and flare dispensers, and of course radar warning receiver. We will have US Army and other paint schemes. We're going to have night vision goggles, and a searchlight, as well as early access manual and training missions, which will be very, very helpful to enhance what we're going to be learning from WAGs over the next several weeks. So good stuff. Now, at final release, they hope to have the following: fire control radar and radio interferometer. Interferometer. Goodness gracious. RFI. Ooh, had trouble there. Addition, and I haven't even had a beer yet. Addition of the AGM-114L radar guided Hellfire data link system to share and assign targets between flight members. Very cool. TADS multi-target tracker, or MTT, laser warning system, a radar jammer, anti-ice system, advanced damage modeling, additional liveries and livery template. Full English list of languages is to be determined, so we don't know what other languages there will be. I had somebody comment recently, we don't have enough French manuals and enough French in the game, so that's to be arranged and then campaigned by Eagle Dynamics. All right, well, let's turn now to some of the specific features of the aircraft that Eagle Dynamics is showcasing in this newsletter. We'll begin with the TADS, which is the Targeting and Designation System, which is a combined sensor and targeting unit fitted to the front of the helicopter. TADS contains stabilized electro-optical sensors and a laser rangefinder target designator. The TADS can be slewed using the co-pilot gunner's TADS electronic display and control, also known as TDAC, or slave to the helmet line of sight of either crew member. The FLIR camera of the TADS is a powerful sensor for both day and night operations and will incorporate our new FLIR technology. Now, if you're wondering what that's about, I did see Ralphie Dude throw up some images on Twitter about some of the work that has been done on the FLIR technology in-game, and Eagle Dynamics did indicate, yes, we are reworking that technology for the game, which was pretty interesting to see. So keep your eyes peeled about that. In addition here, the other big weapon of this aircraft, which really probably is the primary weapon, or certainly the primary precision weapon, and that is the AGM-114K Hellfire. This is a semi-active laser or cell-guided missile, and it will be the principal precision strike weapon, as mentioned, for the Apache at early access release. Now, the Hellfire is guided by laser energy reflected off targets, and it has a tandem-shaped charge, high-explosive anti-tank warhead or heat, for both armored and unarmored targets and almost whatever else you want to fire at, as WAGs indicated in the teaser video. So both systems are currently in development with an expected delivery of Q4. That's right, you heard it, Q4. Now, if you're wondering what's the price of this beauty, well, at this time, for a limited period of time, as part of a pre-order, it is currently $55.99 or $56 US, which is, not cheap. But again, when you look at the work that has gone on in this helicopter and the quality of the product that we're seeing externally, sure, the proof will be in the pudding in terms of what it's like to fly, etc., in early access. And there's still some features that won't be available, such as the fire control radar. Nevertheless, the work that we can see is, certainly nothing to be scoffed at. I think they've done a fantastic job. And as previously mentioned, I would love to sit down with them and talk about the development process, because I find it very, very fascinating just how much work they've done on this, and relatively quickly. So there's a lot more behind the scenes that we don't know, and that is something I'd like to peel back a little bit with Eagle Dynamics, because I think, again, they deserve some praise for this aircraft based on what we have seen already. So good news. Let me know what your thoughts are. We'll turn here to wrap up this week's newsletter with a couple of pieces of information about third-party developers, beginning with Indiafoxtecho. Now, if you're not familiar with this studio, they produce the MB339A, which is a two-seater trainer. It's still a work in progress. They are currently working to get this into a evaluation build before the end of October. Hey, that's this month, so that Eagle Dynamics can review it with a view, of course, to sell it as a purchasable module in the game. Right now, there is a more simplistic version, a free version, which you can fly. So this is going to be a nice addition for those looking for more trainer aircraft. We have a few, of course, in the game already, such as the L-39, but this is going to add even more aircraft in that vein for virtual squadrons and those wanting to do multiplayer training missions and missions of that ilk, if you like, for training purposes. So that's good news for them, and they've done a nice job. They have, of course, been busy with Microsoft Flight Simulator. They have stressed that they were working on those products to get those up and running, and I think that's justifiable for as a company trying to ply its trade in a competitive genre. So good on them, and let's give them a round of applause and have a look at some of the videos that they have online. I'll try and throw one up for a link so you can see they've actually done some pretty decent work. I really enjoyed the icing up of the airframe at altitude, which was really, really cool. So all right, well, let's wrap up this week's video with another snippet of news from a third-party developer who produces some pretty decent products. We're talking here RAZBAM, and of course they are also working on various other salacious modules that many of us can't wait to sink our teeth into. Of course, we're referring to the F-15E, the MiG-23, and also a really, really nice looking map, and that is the Sth Atlantic Map. Now, I've really got a thing for this map, I must say. I'm looking forward to seeing it in the game. I think it's going to be a very interesting theater because it's different from some of the other maps that we have. It's in a different part of the world, and it offers some unique flying characteristics, and I think some unique naval ops in that part of the world, which can be, an extremely challenging place to operate in, as the British found out during the Falklands conflict in the early 80s. So there's an historical component to this whole thing as well. So the cinematic that they produced showcased a lot of the work that they've done. Now, we've seen snippets here and there of little bits and pieces, short videos showcasing, just some of the features that they've been working on, but nothing as comprehensive as this and covering so many aspects of the map. Now, I believe it was G. Skouras who actually helped them with the cinematic, and I'm going to consider him a friend of mine. He and I have chatted in the past about our respective channels, and so this is quite a coup for him to take a product that is not established in the game yet and have the opportunity to work with virgin territory, so to speak, and produce, as I said, this really nice looking cinematic that covered quite a lot of material in the map. I guessed that you wouldn't bother going to that much trouble of producing a fairly fantastic cinematic with another person outside of your studio to showcase the map unless you were intent on some form of release. Now, of course, RAZBAM, I don't believe, unless I'm mistaken, have mentioned any specific dates. It is indicated that it is a work in progress and that any of the images that we saw may not reflect the final product. So this is an interesting stride in an interesting direction for release. So stay tuned, because I really enjoyed the cinematic. As I've said, I really like this map. I think it's going to be a fantastic addition to the game in terms of its, unique territorial structure and the amount of water that's there, and also the size of the land masses nearby. So yeah, let me know what you think about that particular cinematic. I'll put up a link, and also check out Skouras's latest video. He produces fantastic cinematics that really are award-winning, and of course showcases some really cool stuff that is going on in the game and reminds us why it's so much fun to fly in this environment. So I think that will do this week. Let me know what your thoughts are on all of these topics, including the development of the Apache. Of course, as I said, I'd love the opportunity to sit down with Wags or anyone from Eagle Dynamics about the work that they've done. It's absolutely fantastic. I'm also excited to see these other third-party products as well. So we're looking pretty good for the end of this year, and I can't wait for 2022 and the evolution of the game, because it continues to get better and better, and gosh, it's a lot of fun to be a sim pilot right now. So all right guys, take care out there. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. It helps the channel chug along. And give me your thoughts and your comments below, and we'll chat about all of this over the next couple of days. Take care. We'll see you next time. Cheers guys.